Well, shares of Netflix are one of our trending trades this afternoon on trading day. This as the streaming giant reported quarterly results last night that saw them add a lot more customers than expected. 13 million. That was well above the nearly 9 million that the street was looking for. And on all the metrics that investors really care about, free cash flow, sales, as well as the forecast, that all came in pretty much ahead of expectations. Alicia Reese is analyst at Wedbush that covers Netflix. You've got a buy rating on this stock. You moved your target up. Is there anything to quibble with in the set of results or the forecast that Netflix put out?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say that its performance over the past few months, as well as its Q4 results, really underscore that Netflix won the quote-unquote streaming wars. And there's evidence, the evidence of that, I would say, is that, the viewership and the subscriber base that they have has led all of its competitors, or several of its competitors, to go back to licensing on its platform. And that content for Netflix is less expensive than producing original content. So the combination of, producing its own content and licensing library content for less, but that's great for the other platforms because they're getting reach that they can't get themselves. And it's just a great content strategy. Netflix has the most efficient content spend, and that's why it's profitable. And that profitability is growing and translating into substantial free cash flow that we expect to grow over the coming years.
Why can't the others catch up? What is the secret sauce that Netflix has? Because the others have deep pockets. Apple, Amazon, Disney's got the content already. What is the secret sauce?
Well, it depends on what aspect you're looking at. So relative to like the conglomerates, they have linear TV still to deal with, and that's clearly a shrinking pie. And a lot of that advertising dollars is still coming over to streaming. Streaming content is more expensive. Netflix just has the first mover advantage. They have a wider global footprint on their streaming platform. That took a long time for them to grow, but they have a huge, moat there. And being able to produce content in one region, any of its regions, and then display that content throughout its regions, it's just incredibly efficient use of content spend, whereas, its competitors are spending wildly on content and also on all those sports rights. To keep the content and the advertisers on their linear channels and, on to some of their streaming channels as well. It's just really expensive. So that side of their business is just unprofitable. Netflix, by contrast, is extremely profitable.
The stock hit an all-time high under $700. You do see it climbing to $615. What gets you there? Is it just more of the same?
No, so Netflix dipping into, I'd rather say, sports with the WWE and, doing a little bit of, shoulder programming here and there and just kind of dipping in and seeing what works. What works so far is the drama side of sports. Netflix is really kind of building on that angle and doing a lot of that shoulder programming, which is significantly less expensive than, pure sports rights. But then digging into those pure sports rights with WWE and finding a way to, create a whole ecosystem around that. And the fact that Netflix only has a very small and very, nascent advertising business, that's really going to help expand that throughout 2025. And it can actually put a little bit of live entertainment on top of its premium tier, which, doesn't have currently any advertising slots.
You referenced the free cash flow, which has been kind of the stunning switch that was flipped on at the company after years and years of bleeding billions of dollars. What is it going to be used for?
Yeah, they have plenty of cash to reinvest in content and to just maintain their lead, to kind of widen that moat around them. They can reinvest in expanding the types of content, diversifying the types of content that they're able to display, and getting that edge over their competition, and they can return it to investors, which they have been increasingly doing with share buybacks and acquisitions, like you just saw with